Today's training is optimizing for 80. If you're trying to get the most out of your body and your energy and your health, sometimes it can feel like your motivation's starting to dip. And if you're in your mid 40s and 50s, it can feel like that motivation's hard to find again. And you don't feel like you've got the same drive as you used to have. And after working with thousands and thousands of clients, I get to observe who wins, who struggles, who wins for a little bit, struggles for a little bit, wins for a little bit, and starting to really reshape how do we build motivation that lasts a long time. Now, for me, I went through a lot of these learnings myself as well, and I've simplified all of this down into 3 points that I want to bring across. And then if you stay to the end, I'm going to give you a couple of resources that I think can really, really help with this process as well. But for me personally, where this came from was an awareness of most people tend to see these motivations naturally shift over time. So it's kind of a gradual process, right? From when you're 20 and you wanted six-pack abs to when you're 45 and you just want to not ache anymore. It becomes kind of a gradual process. Now, for me, that happened quite quickly because I had a really, really big motorbike crash, and it was very much one of those moments of like, I very easily could have died in that moment. So in a lot of ways, I'm kind of living my second life now, and we still kind of celebrate that as a bit of a birthday for me because it was a bit of a major crash. And what it acted as in a lot of ways, there's so many things I learned from it, but there was one thing that really started to come to fruition now is it became a really big shift in why I wanted to be healthy, why I wanted to be fit, right? I was one of those guys that I built a lot of muscle. I was actually to the point of doing bodybuilding shows and winning bodybuilding shows. So I was really lean, was holding a lot of muscle. I was walking around 105, 110 kilos. So there was a real strong focus on the physical. After that crash, and certainly beforehand, but certainly after that crash, it really solidified how much I move and train and contract for my mental health and how I'm now in a position, certainly post-crash and still rebuilding my shoulders 3 years after the crash. It's become a really strong anchor to just have as capable body as possible for as long as possible. Because when it gets taken away from you, what's the one thing you want? That thing. So seeing that happen overnight for me was something that's really solidified that shift in motivation for me. And it's being able to see, for me to see my clients through a different lens and see how sometimes those same problems arise for our clients, right? When we get an awareness of where is your motivation right now? Is there a lack of motivation? What is stopping you from doing the thing you know you want to do, but you're not doing, right? And this is why I want to bring this up because I think it's a really powerful topic that we're starting to see. And when we communicate to clients, we're seeing a massive shift in their actions overnight. So the first one I want to bring here is if you're in your mid 40s and 50s, one of the things that you need to really flip a switch in your mind is starting to work towards the idea of optimizing for 80. And what this means is that you're now visualizing in your mind what that looks like at 80 for you. What do you still want to be able to do, right? Do you still want to be able to get up out of the couch and be able to move without things creaking and popping? Do you want to be able to take your dog for a walk? And maybe you've got a big lab or a golden retriever, right? That's a pretty big dog to be able to maintain at 80, right? So what strength do you need to have? What balance do you want to be able to have? If you do fall, do you want to be able to get back up? Do you want to be able to protect those hips, right? One of the biggest risks at 80 is obviously falling over, and these fractures in the hips can be absolutely deadly. So we're starting to look at the strength and mobility and the level of function required at that age, and now we design a way of building towards that. Now, it's an incredibly long goal, and I'm going to walk you through some of the benefits of that in a second, but being able to really anchor and visualize what that is. While you're listening or watching this, ask yourself what that is for you. Do you still want to be able to have sex at that age? Do you still want to be able to pick up your grandkids? Do you still want to be able to do things on your own? Or do you want to be in a wheelchair? Or do you want to have poor balance? Do you always want to have to hold something to put on your socks? When you start to get clarity of what that is, you can start to build some real drive behind why you want to be strong, rather than just being stuck in the go of now and the hamster wheel of the urgent stuff that needs to be done. You start to really look at how anchoring these things in your 40s and 50s really create the strong, capable body at 80. All right, so the first one there is creating the anchor. Really visualize what that means for you. I think it's going to be a really powerful step. The second one that we need to look at is what is highlighted in this process. Ollie, that goal is so far away. How can that keep me motivated? And this is something that's really become a huge problem in today's society, certainly with how much information and promises and programs are out there on the internet promising, 20 kilos weight loss in 30 days or whatever it might be. Getting an awareness of when we create short-term goals, we look for all the hacks and tricks and tweaks that we can make that really only lead to short-term actions. In a lot of ways, it actually starts to damage the long-term goal. For example, if we're starting to go through a really drastic diet, right? Something like, 800 calories a day, or you're fasting all day and doing one meal a day, that could be something that gets you results in a certain time period, 30 days, 60 days, and then you hit a plateau and you spend 6 months trying to repair the damage you've done, right? So being able to adjust the goal really allows you to keep winning long term rather than achieving a short term result and then paying the consequences down the line. So being able to really shift that goal, shift the goalpost, is something that I've seen in so many areas of life, whether it's maintaining that relationship, building that company, or staying healthy long term. These are infinite goals, not finite. And I think it's something that people try to redesign and really struggle with, is because they just go from, what I mean by finite is a fixed period of time, right? They're trying to do it in 50 days or 6 months or 12 weeks, whatever it might be. And we start to get so encapsulated in, okay, I'm just going to do it for the next 12 weeks and then I'm going to change. The goal of health is not to get healthy, healthy for 30 days. It's to stay healthy for the rest of your life, right? Same with relationships. It's not to get married. It's to stay married for the rest of your life. When we start to look at these goals with more on an infinite time horizon and staying healthy long term and what that requires of your body and how you need to enjoy it and feel like that's something you're involved in every day rather than fighting, that creates a drastically different mind focus or motivation around what you're looking for and what you push towards. And something we've talked about a lot is, if you can't do it every day, don't do it for one. It's very much around this focus of creating long-term goals. All right. And then the last one that I want to dive into is really starting to bring an awareness around working with your body. Something we see certainly more on the male side, but it very much happens on the female side too, is you need to get the body healthy first. We need to get your body back on your side. If you know, and everybody knows, that it was easier to get in shape at 20 than it was when you're 40. When you had all of the food that was in front of you when you were 20, you burned it off. When you get to 45 or 55 and you eat all of that food, you put on weight almost instantly. So what we're seeing, and what I think we can clarify here, is that it's not about the amount of food we eat. It's our ability to burn it. It's our ability to regulate stress, to sleep well, to digest that food, to be able to burn the body fat off. It's about getting the body healthy, regulated, functioning, digesting to a point that you're able to stay lean, you're able to recover, you're able to get a good night's sleep, and in turn feel leaner, feel like you've got more energy throughout the day. So one of the big things that we've focused on for a very long time is repairing your gut health, getting an awareness of your digestion, your central nervous system. Managing those things are the first steps. If you're trying to just push the run harder or train harder or pay a PT to get a couple of other workouts in, you're forcing the body to change before you're looking at getting things healthy. So if you're looking to ultimately first make the shift of, what's my goal? What do I want to look like at 80? What do I still want to be able to do? That's number one. Number two is create that long-term goal, create the infinite mindset around, I want to be able to do this every day. Number three becomes, if I want to be able to do this every day, I need to be able to recover. I need to have the energy. I want to have the drive to do these things every day. My body needs to be healthy and I need to tune in. So those are my 3 points for you today. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of awareness around a huge project and a lot of thinking I've been doing over the last 6 weeks around optimizing for 80, redefining the entire goal of what motivation is after 40. It's no longer the six-pack abs. That might still be part of it, and if it is, awesome. But a bigger part of that goal as you continue to get older, as it has become with me, I think focusing on a more capable body that feels great, that can do cool things for as long as possible, becomes an internal drive, becomes an internal flame that won't go out. So I hope that was really helpful. I hope that gave you a nice little shift to hopefully just keep pondering in the back of your mind for a couple of weeks, if not for the rest of your life, and really create a new drive around why you want to be healthy. Now, as I promised at the start, I want to give you something to start this process and really get an awareness of where to start to get your body back on your side. So we've got a whole bunch of resources, whether it's going through our full 5-day challenge and getting awareness of putting those habits in place, whether you feel like it's your night routine and you don't know how to wind down and get a good night's sleep, or maybe it's what are some of those initial protein ideas so I can actually increase that recovery, maintain that muscle mass, which by the way is one of the biggest indicators of aging, right? Losing muscle mass quickly. So increasing that protein amount. All of those guides I've put into one simple sheet of our top 5 giveaways. I'm just going to give all of it away in one, because if you're listening to this video at the end, you're thinking about the right thing. You're thinking about an infinite mindset of staying healthy for as long as possible, fueling the body, strengthening the body, and looking after the body so you can feel good for as long as possible. you're my kind of person. This is who I'm talking to. So comment below 5 giveaways. We'll give you that link, and it'll give you all of our top giveaways that we've given away in this group over the last couple of years. I think you'll enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed today's training, and we'll talk again soon. See ya. Bye.